Hey guys, all right, so let's talk a little bit more about elements of design. So we were talking about our craft principles in our first discussion for this week, but we also want to be able to tie in the elements of design with those craft principles. So some of the elements of design are shape, color, space, the typography, so that's your fonts that you choose, line, texture. And texture is really interesting because it can be, a textured background that you create on a computer. It could also be the physical texture, the feel of the paper that you chose. The scale of things, how big or small they are, the dominance of things on the page, the balance that's going on the page, and the harmony on the page. And again, those elements need to work with our principles of contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. So I have another good example, at least I think it's a good example today. So let's take a look at this package that I received. To kind of tying in with our preschool theme. So it has some good craft principles here. We have contrast in the blue type with the orange circles. Those are actually two contrasting colors. And we also have the repetition in the background, which would also be a texture. So we've used, that repetition, but we've also done it by doing a repeating background here. Then we have our alignment. So things kind of, your eye follows down the page, it follows the alignment on the page, and we have that proximity. So, the logo is, above the images. The images are next to each other. The information is easy to read and easy to find on the page. We have good scale of the logo to the photos. The photos aren't tiny, tiny down here where you wouldn't be able to see them. We have that dominance where when you see what's going to be inside of the kit. There's a good balance on the page. There's a good harmony on the page, with the different elements, and great color choices, nice white space. So this, even though there's that pattern back here, there's nice white space going on. So what that means is, they didn't take the logo and make it, whole size. They didn't try to fill the space with something everywhere. Which again, that goes back to your balance, that goes back to your scale, that goes back to the harmony that you see on the page. You're not looking at this going, oh, my eyes don't know where to go. So you can see where the different elements of design really work together with the principles of design to make one greatly designed piece. Now, I also have one other thing, and I always find it interesting to kind of show package design because when we think of graphic design, a lot of times we think of designing something that's going to be printed on a piece of paper or designing something that's going to be shown on the web, but we don't think about, packages and how those are elements of graphic design. So here's another one, which COVID-19, everything going on, might need some stress relief in your life. I know I do. We try to get rid of, I'm right under a light here, get rid of the glare. There we go. So for this package, again, we have some great contrast, the white letters to the green background. We have the repetition, and I would say the repetition would be of, the green throughout. The repetition is in, the font choices throughout. So then that also goes back to our typography. And then we have some good use of color. They chose, this is actually the bottle color, but you can see that, the leaves are just scaled a little bit less from the bottle color to make them pop out, but not really. And I think that that's really harmonious in the design, and it also gives a good balance. And then, the use of this blue, again, a calming color. So they're really thinking through what they're trying to sell you here, stress relief. So what are some good colors for stress relief? Well, we want to think of colors in nature, right? Because being out in nature usually, at least for me, relieves us of some stress. So the nice green, you know, the the calming blue and kind of a blue sky, and then the white text. Everything's easy to read, which makes it a little bit stress free. And again, there's that harmony, that balance. You've got the texture and the pattern back here. Even the texture, um, in the repetition of the fonts back here. So again, another greatly designed piece showing both our elements of design and our principles of design all together. All right, have a great week, everyone.